This is a recap of Tuesday, October 13th. So today I started with a review of what we went over yesterday, and then students took about 10 to 15 minutes to take notes on adding and subtracting integers. And they did that by clicking on one of these three videos. I'll show you each one. This one is using a number line, so it's about 7 minutes long. It's a very good video on using a number line. This one is a little bit longer.
So the absolute value method.
And let me back that up to the beginning. And she uses what's called the absolute value method, and it's a bit longer and more detailed if you wanted that. And then the last one is just 44 seconds, but it is about
Number
zero
and its
pair.
opposite.
So a zero pair. And that's what we spent the rest of the period on, was talking about zero pair. And so we went here to this pair deck and shared what we learned. And it looked like this. And it's still open, so you can still, oops, let me go back. You can write what you know how to do in terms of adding and subtracting integers, what you wonder about, and from the notes, something that you learned. And then the second page, or second slide, was to draw a zero pair. And then this is what we're going to spend the rest of the recap on, this link right here. So if you go to the slideshow, you'll get a link to this integer chip tool, but I'm going to show you a different way to get there. So if you want to use this tool, then go to Math 7 resources, go to classwork, and there are online tools. And one of the online tools is called the integer chip tool, integer chip and zero pairs. So we're going to spend a few minutes, and this is what we did in class. Some students shared, and then I'm going to just go over what we did. So let's start with how this works. If you want to represent a positive, you just click there and that gives us a positive. If you want a negative, then you can show a negative. And you can put as many out there and you can drag them around. And one thing that we learned was that we could match a positive with a negative and it would be a zero pair and it would just get removed from the screen. So that's how this works, and so you can play around with that and see how that works a little bit, and then you can use it to represent addition of integers and subtraction of integers. So let's start with over here. I'll just write just 5 plus 3. We know that's equal to 8, but this is how we would use this tool to do that. We do 5 positives and then 3 more positives. And you see a total of 8. Now let's try. Oops, let's go like this. Start over. And let's try a positive 5 plus a negative 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to put 3 negatives out. So we've added 3 negatives. And we just zero those out. And whatever you have left, that's the answer. So positive 2. Now let's try something that has more negative. So let's do 4 plus negative 7. So we'll put 4 positives, 7 negatives. And 4 of those positive and negatives match up, leaving 3 negatives left. So see how the 4 cancels out 4 of those negatives, kind of leaving 3 of them left. So negative 3. So they cancel each other out. That's how adding integers can be thought of. And then let's now try what happens when we add some negative to even more negative. So if we have negative 3 and we want to add it to a negative 2. And we're going to put up 3 negatives. There's 3 negatives, and then add 2 more negatives. And we have a total on the board of 5 negatives. Now let's start doing some subtraction. So let's do 8 minus 7. See what that looks like with this tool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And to do the part of subtraction, to do this part right here, we're going to subtract 7 positives. So these are positive. So this really means 8 and then take away 7 of those positives. So I'm going to click right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to subtract them from the picture. So I have 1 left. So we know 8 minus 7 is 1, but we're demonstrating that with these pieces. I'm going to leave that up there, and let's now try something where we're subtracting more than we have on the board. So let's do 4 minus 5 and see what happens. Let's try that same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I try to do the same thing I just did, and I clicked on 5 of these, well, I can only click on 4. I can only take 4 away. So we're going to take a 0 pair down, so I have another one that I can take away. So this really is, what I have on the board here is 4 plus 1 plus negative 1, and this is 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. So I haven't changed the value of what's on the board. I added 0. If you add 0 to something, that doesn't change the value. So now what I can do is I can take away 1 more. So now I've subtracted 5. So I subtract 5, and what that leaves me with is a minus 1. So let's try starting with negative 5, and let's take away 3 of those negatives and see what we end up with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to remove 3 negatives. 1, 2, 3. So we get rid of 3 negatives, we have 2 left. And then finally, Let's see what happens. One of the more difficult problems in integers is we're going to subtract, we're going to start with -4 and subtract 3. So we're going to put 4 negatives up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just like this up here, let's go here. This is exactly the same right here as this. I'm taking away 3 positives, and I don't have any positives. So I'm going to take 3 0 pair. 1, 2, 3. So this has a total value right now of -4. It's -4 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. Still -4. And now I can take away 3 positives. 1, 2, 3. And so what remains is -7. So that takes a while to comprehend, sometimes to understand. In fact, we talked about using this tool to convince us that we have the correct answer. So it's a really valuable tool. We'll continue to use it. Please work on the quiz that you see that it's due today. It's more of a pre-test, just seeing what you know. So please take it. Please work on any of the classwork. And that is a recap for Tuesday, October 13th.